Hello everyone, it's Marcia with Then and There, and I have another journal I want to share with you guys. I've created a junk journal with a soft fabric cover. This one's different than anything I've done before. It is layered with papers, and it has gesso and glues and gel medium on it, so it is stiff, but it's fabric, and so it's also somewhat flexible. So, but I layered on some pattern papers, pattern packaging images, let's put it like that, with some fabric and lace, some crocheted lace. This fabric had this pattern on it already. It is a pattern for embroidery, but I took some acrylic markers and just kind of played around and did a little doodling and colored in the images a little bit. Just had fun with it. And like I said, I added gesso on certain place, just kind of randomly. There's some pattern paper down here as well, and some more doodling. I put a large button on here for the closure. It has stitching on it. It's stitched all the way around with a zigzag. I left the edges frayed and not finished, so they look tattered and rustic, like I like. The spine, there are two signatures, and they're stitched into the spine, the fabric of the spine. I've pinned on here a fun little charm, book charm that I put together. It's kind of, excuse me, I've been fighting a cold a little bit. The theme of this book, I guess you could say, it's kind of like 60s, 70s fabric and sewing pattern and colors, sort of just kind of going off of this and other patterns that I have throughout the book. So this is sort of a nod to macrame that was really popular during those times as well. We have some lace spun on a spool. It has its original label on there. And I put some gel medium over it to protect it, because it was getting kind of loose, and just kind of seal that on there. Put some rickrack tied around there, a large button. I love this button. It has this really big buttonholes in it. I don't remember what these things are called, but they were popular then, I believe. Some wooden beads, a little bobbin here with just some yarn tied around it, some glass pony beads, and a key. And it's just pinned on the spine. You can take it off and put it wherever you want to, or leave it. The back, you can see the pattern follows through to the back. There's some more doodling, a little fabric, some paper, stitching. I had a lot of fun with this journal. Honestly, I wanted to just keep decorating it, but I wanted to leave some for the recipient of this, whoever decides that they really want it. And it will be listed on my Etsy shop by the time this video is up, and the link will be down in the description if you want to go check that out. A large button is the closure of the book. It has this, I can never remember what this is called, bias tape, which I have done some stitching on, black on one side and white on the other, just to add some interest. And it's sewn under the button. It wraps around and wraps the journal closed. As we get into the inside of the journal, I took a bunch of fun patterned fabrics and just pieced them together. Very rough. I left all the edges, frayed edges, bare and visible, and I really love that look. It's sort of raggedy, and the entire inside cover is like that. And like I said, this has a bit of structure to it, but it is also flexible. And I noticed when I was working in it, some of the paper started to crack because they were too stiff, and so when I folded it, the papers would crack. So what I did was I took gel medium and went over it and just kind of sealed those up. So if you notice that starts to happen, just take you some glue, if you can find some that's like water resistant or whatever, just kind of put that over it to protect it. Anyways, as we get in, like I said, lots of fun patterns, fabrics, and colors. Just went crazy. Got a lace pocket here with an image from a pattern, a sewing pattern, a little journaling card here with a bird that acts as a little tuck for this little flashcard, which I stamped on. Some pattern paper here. Little pocket. This is a quilted piece that I got from an estate sale. I just stitched it onto some cardstock to make a pocket. A journaling card here with a button card with its original buttons on there, just stapled on. Magazine image from the 60s, I believe. Yes, plain Jane it ain't. I thought that was perfect for this journal because it is anything but plain. It is bold and I am loving it. The other side, Fantastic Voyage, loved that. Some piece of pattern with a bird stamped on there and some fabric. This is some embroidery pattern paper. A little seam binding wrapper, which had this cute little image on there. Made a little flip with that. Some ink stamping down here. Some just lined writing paper. A little tag. It's like a ticket. And I left all the strings, like as many as I could stand, loose. You can trim them if they start to bother you. But I like the look of some. This has some very old measuring tape on there, which I cleaned up as best I could and stitched on there. Die cut and some wax paper. This is the back side of a pattern that someone had sketched out. I got a whole package of these at an estate sale. They're really cool, and it was pressed with a pencil, kind of hard, so I just took an ink pad and went over it. So you got a pattern on both sides. Some pattern paper, more magazine image, another seam binding, some lace, another one of those hand-drawn patterns, iron transfer, die cut fabric, just all kinds of things. This has some handwriting on it, some buttons stitched on this fabric with the die cut, little collage. On this other side of the magazine image, there are 20 pages in here, so that's 40, there's 40 pages, that's 80 counting both sides. So, sorry. A little top tuck here with just some pattern paper that I did some stamping on. Packaging for a pattern. I love those outfits. It flips out. I hope you can see all of that. Little collage here with some doodling and stitching. This is just pattern paper. The other side of that writing paper, die cut. Took some gesso and just kind of put that on there. Embroidery, little collage, a magazine image. This is a little tuck spot with a pattern, iron transfer pattern instructions there. A little journaling card. I just had to put these in here because of the colors, and I just feel like Monopoly was a huge like thing back in the day. So, and I loved this wrapping paper, and just stitched that on there. This little tuck spot. This fabric was Creative Circle 1979. Loved that. Some fabric collage. This is another little iron-on pattern transfer thing. Little doodling there. This is a handwritten piece of paper that was in with the pattern, and it has some, just a list there, and then it has a cute little note on the back here. Did a little collage with some hand stitching, and I believe that is just pattern paper. Yeah, and I did do some coffee and ink and tea dyeing and stuff on those. A sewing pattern instruction booklet, so cute. Added some little faux tape there. I mean, it's tape, but faux inked, let's put it like that, aged. I love this greeting card. I actually have another one, and I'm going to put together a kit to go with it. The colors, I wanted to include it in with this, but the colors were so different and vibrant at the same time. I didn't want to throw it all into the same journal, so I'm going to put together a kit. So if you really love this and you love making journals, keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I'll have that here in just a couple days, with this the other card that is very similar. In fact, if I can find it, let me just show you real quick. Just a sneak peek, because these are the coolest cards. Look at that. Look at how bright and how beautiful that is. I'm going to put together a kit very similar to this with the fabrics and sewing patterns and papers to coordinate with that. It says "So glad we're friends" in there, and it has an envelope that matches it. And I just love these, and so do keep an eye out for that. I'm starting on something already. So love this card. Pattern paper here, or a pattern instruction here, embroidery pattern, sewing pattern, a little photo slide here with a little tag, a little girl on there, magazine image, fabric, and a little doily. Another one of those hand-drawn embroidery patterns, some layering of papers there, stamp, a little die cut collaged on there, and it's just stapled, magazine image, patterns, and some fabric collage, a little pocket here, another one of those quilting squares that came that way, a little journaling card, it says happy on there, with some stitching. Of course, have to have stitching, lots of stitching. Little collage here with a bird, and just doodled on a few dots. Some more stamping. Another image from the pattern packaging, and a little lace flip there. Magazine images. Little collage. This folds out, and I just layered on a embroidery pattern over that. It's the other side of that card. It says thanks ever so much. Made a little tuck spot here with a journaling card. This is loose and just tucks in behind the lace and the card here. A little tab. Another one of those Monopoly cards, and great journaling spot in the back. And the pattern paper, and a stamp sewing machine. And that is it. That is that journal. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I tried to go kind of quickly so I don't ramble. And so thank you so much for watching. Do check it out in the description if you're interested. Bye.